Well, good morning, warriors. Wendy from News Force here, and I'm back with a quick update. We have some serious stuff happening out there with our DUMBS and a very interesting situation with our orange screen. We're going to jump right into the orange screen this morning because she's gonna disappear. And today is October 22nd, 2025. As you can see here, everything is clear throughout the United States for our orange screens this morning, except for this area right here. And I just want to point out this eastern orange screen. All right. So we have it going, stretching from our war zone, which is Mexico City down to Guatemala. So from our war zone, and it cuts off here at Houston, right straight across Louisiana there. And it goes clear up to Nashville, guys. All right. So they're being very specific this morning. And they're squeezing on the war zone just to the north of the war zone here. Right in through here. They're really putting a squeeze here. So they're definitely up to something that includes this side of the United States, but they're also definitely tied into something over here, which I am going to guess has to do with the DUMBS because of the way it stretches out into the ocean. Now, we do know that we have a hurricane spinning right about here. Miss Melissa has come in to help us out with some DUMBS for the next couple of days. She's just going to lay there and spin a little bit. Let's go ahead and just take a look at her quick.
It is Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience as we track Tropical Storm Melissa. It is likely to become a hurricane and be closer to Jamaica. I want to track that, what I'm seeing, which models may be right or wrong, but also what I'm seeing in the environment, more of the time frame, some additional specifics in new areas that are going into monitor mode, right? We'll cover action mode and monitor mode in this and why this is going to take a turn. And it is such a slow mover. Now look at it right here. See these white shadings? These are telling me the clouds are super tall. Obviously bigger clouds hold more rain. That is the immediate concern and the concern we're going to have over the next several days as this lifts closer to Jamaica. That'll pump in more rain for Haiti, the Dominican Republic, even parts of Puerto Rico, and even seeing the tail kind of far reaches of it. Northern Colombia will see eventually some more rain bands for parts of the ABC Islands. Not everyone will get rain across the ABC Islands, but some of us could get some additional flooding. But then this big blob as it stands now, as it gets closer to Haiti, it will start to develop further. It's not super organized right now, even though that looks really impressive. It's really the rain that is the concern, and it doesn't need to be super organized to cause some big issues with the flooding. That is my major concern. I can't stress this enough. Now, this is the most critical time with the system because we can do stuff ahead of it, and the number one thing is getting the word out. I've been talking to our teams on the ground in the Dominican Republic, Haiti, and in Jamaica to help spread the word. If you have a ministry, appreciate you getting some of the information out about this throughout your community. So I appreciate you sharing this channel, this link, just to get the right information to others. Now, as we go out in time here, today and tomorrow, a super slow mover. It's kind of sitting almost in the same spot. Friday and Saturday, gradually working its way to the north. And Sunday and Monday, closer to Jamaica, there is going to be...
Let me just back this up. All right, so... we are looking at this area right here is where they have a lot of DUMBS being blown up. We're going to take a look at that in a minute. So it looks like it's just going to sit out here and spin and just push water this way and this way down into Venezuela, Colombia, where they've been blowing up all the DUMBS. Okay, so let's go over and take a look. And this is coming from Mr. Weatherman, guys. All right. In case you want to go over and take a look. And hopping back over to our DUMBS screen, let's take a look at what's going on. Big stuff happening along the beltways. I call them beltways that stretch up into Alaska up here, swings down this direction and heads towards South America. Let's go ahead and pull back on that here. There we go, that's better. They come up and come along here and then run along the coastline of South America. And they are busy. You can see action, action. So let's head over here to where our hurricane is first. So our hurricane is spinning right about in through here. Right like that. And it's going to definitely be pushing water this way and down here into Venezuela. And let's take a look at those DUMBS. So this is the action we have right now as that hurricane kind of settles in. And like he said, those clouds, those cumulus, those deep, deep clouds continue to stretch up into the atmosphere. And you can see they're still going to work, going to town on these DUMBS. But what's interesting is over the last week, they've come on into this beltway right here of with the DUMBS, and they've gotten very active right along these islands. St. Lucia, your Barbados, okay, Grenada, right in through there. So it looks like to me that they're just getting some more in here as that water is going to push that direction. Let's just take a look at this one here. This was 2 days ago, guys. Okay. And that was a 10 km. There's a lot of 10 kms in there. That's great. We know those 10 kms are our babies, our star of the show that lets us know they hit a main vein. They're done, the main tunnel. They're done with the veins around it. That was a 4.2, guys. 4.2 blast on that main right there in the middle of the water. Like so. Let's see here. Let's take a look at this island and see what we can see. Barbuda. Princess Diana's beach. Interesting. Let's go on in here, guys. Just take a look. Yeah, they're calling this Princess Diana's beach. I find that interesting. I don't really see any action until you get over here. Huh. All of this in through here, guys, was all traffic zones, all adrenochrome. It was all about that. Here's St. John's Island, of course, right there. Potter's Village. You guys, some wicked things went on in these places, for sure. So one thing I want to say about that hurricane is if it gets any stronger than a Cat 1, and sits and spins and it becomes like a Cat 3, Cat 4, something crazy like that, if it were to do that, then you know that it's the deep state. When it comes to flooding these DUMBS, okay, we keep it cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, there's mudslides and there's, all sorts of things that come with the territory, but that's what it takes to push that water down. But if you get much higher than a Cat 1, okay, you're talking about the deep state combined with it. Remember, we're on 2 timelines, a 3D and a 5D. So maybe this storm was originally going to be a white or a black hat storm using HARP. And they were planning on flooding this area to steal more kids. That's what they did. I mean, it's very plain and simple. They create storms, tornadoes and stuff. That's what they did for years. They would pick their area if they needed gold or silver or children. And, FEMA would come in and go ahead and set up shop a day or two before, and they would send the storm and, get what they needed. Take the children, take the gold, guns. Guns are a big one because people register them. Why do you think they have them register them? So they can see where they're at. If you have a large arsenal, believe it or not, if you're one of the largest in the area, let's say right here in the Dominican Republic, let's say there's a whole group of guys that are gun guys and they've all have the finest of guns and everything, and they can get a 20% take on children. You're going to find that these larger storms will find its way to that area, make the conditions just bad enough to where it's going to force, the ants out if they were to get flooded, meaning the people, so they can go ahead and get what they want. And that's what they would do. It was one big theft. Hurricane Katrina that went into, let me just come on back over here. All right. Let's come on back over here. That came into Louisiana here, into New Orleans. Back when Obama was president, here's New Orleans. Now, New Orleans is considered to sit inside of almost a fishbowl. Okay. And the reason for that storm was two reasons. They wanted children. They wanted those children. That's why those people were stuck up in that, in the, their big dome there, their football dome for so long. They wanted children, they wanted guns and revenge. Obama sent that storm for flat out revenge. Now, some dispute that it was the mayor and some say it was other reasons, but that a lot of times, if some of these hierarchies, inside the Freemasons get mad at each other, they don't care about us. They'll just send a storm to whichever mayor pissed them off and, demolish their city and make them look stupid for history, like that. Yes, it's their world, not ours. They will not have much control over Hart for very much longer, guys. We just need to hang in there just a bit longer. Let's go down. I wanted to take you guys down. We're going down south here before this dumb disappears past South America. And we're going to stay on the Beltway. I call this the Beltway. Okay, right here. It depends on what you think. If you think the earth is flat or round, is dependent upon what you call it. So I settle with a happy medium of the Beltway. They are called fault lines too, in the flat earth realm, like that. So here we are. We're just going to come to the south of Argentina. Here's Argentina here. And Paraguay is right there, guys. All right, we're going to come on down here into these slammer jammers. Wait till you get a load of this. You guys, it's pretty massive. All right, this was 7 days ago. I barely made it to show you guys because after 7 days, we know that it leaves off the maps. So take a look at this, guys. It was at 10 km, 6.3 at Drake's Passage. I'm pretty sure I put up a quick post about this, but that was about it, about 7 days ago. But you guys, this is huge. If you know anything about Drake's Passage and what it is, definitely take some time to look it up and check out what it was all about there. Let me just back it out a little bit so you guys can see how close this is to. So we have Antarctica right here. Okay, guys. Let's go to the east of that slamma jamma and take a look at that passage way. I do believe that this one was the big dog. This was yesterday, guys. And that was 78 km deep. So she's down there. Definitely. 5.0 blast out there. Let's take a look at these other ones. This one just went off. Yep. So about 20 hours ago, again, 79 km. And that was a 5.2 blast. Pretty good slammer jammers out there. I do see an active volcano right here. So let's come on in on that. On this little tiny island. Let's see. Stratovolcano, Michael, erupting. Let's just take a peek. All right. Lava lake. So there is a lake forming in there, or already has definitely formed. And I see that the rest of the islands are green. Let's come on over here. I wanted to come back up to our war zone just a little bit up in here in Mexico. Just to the south of Guatemala, which is kind of our ending point of the war zone. And come on past Nicaragua. And you can see she's a pretty good one. She made some sound. Look at all the reports, guys, of this slamma jamma. And that is a conglomeration that they're firing up. You can see, take a look at that. Boom, that big one went off. And of course, there's our twinsies. Always have to have those in there somewhere right at the beginning, right? Okay, so this one was just off of Quespos. And guys, look at what's right next to it. A national park, of course. All right, all this, they have to control all this in through here. Too much going on right out here. Let's take a look at that slamma jamma. All right, guys, it was at 31 km and it was a 5.9. It rocked enough. Honestly, if it was 31 km with a 5.9, they had to have hit that just about dead on. Let's take a look at the spray. When I say spray, I'm talking about the people reporting. So it's hard when it's right off the coast because you don't know which way it went unless it's large like this. You can see a very large conglomeration reporting clear down here for that one dumb. Clear down into San Felix district. And I do see a Nubian right here 4 hours ago. Ooh, 10 km. Yes. And a 4.2. Boy, the military's liking that 4.2 action, huh? Most definitely. So you can see that they are getting ready to pretty much begin to do all of this area in through here. Let's take a look at what our twinsies were. Our twinsies, so 23 km, 4.0, and that was 10 hours ago. Let's take a look at that other one and see what that is. Our other twinsie, 10 hours ago, 23 km, 4.1 blast. So it's definitely twinsies in sections for sure. So they'll be there for a little bit. Let's take a look at just these smaller ones and see what the depth is. So 17 there, 2.2 blast. I'm going to assume most of these out here. There's that 23 km again. Just a little popper, a little firecracker there. All right, let's come back out here. And note too, of course, the government wants to make sure they control the area. So, of course, they stamp it as a national forest and collect taxes too at the same time. Let's go ahead. I just want to see if this will light up as far as it went, supposedly. All right, guys, let's just pull on out and see if it'll show the truth here before I talk. Yep, it does. All right, guys, I want you guys to note from this one dumb that went off reminder that its depth was 23 km. Okay. And look at how far up the spray from that. See all the reports? Clear up in here, up into New Hampshire, guys. My goodness. Really? I highly doubt that was a 5.9. I'm pretty sure it was a little bit stronger. Let's go to the farthest north from this dumb, and that's coming from this dumb clear down here south of Nicaragua, all right? She was a good slammer jammer. Let's just go to New Hampshire and see what they said about this one. Oops. I gotta click on it again. If that happens to you, just go back and click on the dumb again and it'll show everything again for you. Big. Look at that big conglomeration there of reports. Lots of yellow, and I actually see some deep yellow in there. We'll look at those in just a minute. Let's come on up here. So Boston, somebody in Boston is reporting in downtown. Let's just see if it adds up. All right, let's try this again here. Okay, so this is... All right, guys. Every time I click on the reports of shaking, it dismisses the app. So I don't know why I can't click on them. It just completely throws me out. But you can see generally it's being reported from that dumb as far as Toronto and Boston, down here in Washington. I find these spots very interesting. North Carolina. And we even have one, because we always have this one lit up in Miami. We even have one being reported as far south as south of Pembroke Pines down in Florida, just to the northwest of Miami. So if you'd like to, go back to the maps and you can go ahead and click on those. Keep trying throughout the day. I just think it's a glitch in the app. But you can see downtown. Wow, look at those reports. Okay. Especially right inside of this area where all the highways, everything's San Jose, guys. This is San Jose, downtown San Jose. Take a look at all those reports. You guys, this dumb right here was something much more than what they're telling us. I promise you there's no chance that there is a ricochet of this being felt as far as Toronto and it not being something more than what they're showing that it is. 31 km, which is 13. Okay, just flip it and you have 13. A 5.9 blast, which is 14, and that equals 2 sevens. 2 sevens. Yeah, there you go. Really, the language is right inside the numbers. So we know it was a doozy. It was a big one. Most definitely. Right off the coastline of San Jose. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and run up to our little war zone here, which is in between Mexico City and Guatemala. Here is our squeeze zone. You can see they're still very, very active in through here. We also have a railway that runs through there too. And speaking of railways, let's go on down to Panama down here, where we can take a look at the DUMBS action. All right, you can see there's even reports of shaking from that dumb all the way down here in Panama. Very specific. There's something more to that dumb we were looking at, guys. All right, so Panama too has decided that they're going to go ahead and build right next to the actual canal. They're going to go ahead and build a railway, and they've already started it, and they're working on it to try and get all the way across with the railway. Also, that's going to run parallel with the Panama Canal. And a lot of things happening with Panama because Panama several years ago, we are basically at war to get our Panama Canal back from China. We built the canal, and then the deep state, we gave it to Panama, as like a gift, so to speak. But you need to manage it because it's a through traffic way for all of everything in the world. It's very key. The Panama Canal is. Anybody who has a hold of the Panama Canal just about owns, the entire world, which includes a few more. But anyways, so Panama, we gave it to them after we were done building it and to manage, pretty much manage, but it was still like a gift. And for several reasons, including the cabal, they basically surrendered it over to China. And now we are at the point where we're taking it back. So what we've done this week, I just want to let you know, is our ambassador to Panama has now slapped on, they're starting to take visas from the people who are running the canal. Okay, and they're just yanking them all together. Also, there was another piece of action that happened with that this week in Panama. Basically, what we're doing is we're taking visas because Panama is finally not at peace with us, okay? Panama is upset with us. We're upset with them now. We're basically saying, hey, look, you got this taken away from by some commies. Whichever way you guys did, you sold it, got in trouble. You know how the cabal is. They're all friendly and nice, and then they go ahead and blackmail you. Well, China came in basically as steps away from completely of taking it over from Panama and has been pretty much running it. And we're saying, hey, Panama, we're yanking your stuff now, and we're coming in, and we're going to make sure China doesn't run this port ever again. They will get it back. Definitely Panama will. But temporarily, this is war. And China's got it hijacked, and it's ours to begin with. We built it. And so we're going to be taking that back. So that is the update on the Panama War situation there. So just one more thing. So the president of Panama got on, and he came out and he was very upset this week, you guys. And he was saying, we're not liking what you're doing here, USA. Well, too bad. All right, you guys got it stolen. They've been using it for trafficking for years. Some of the largest ships in the world holding the most people. Evergreen, Hillary, and Obama's mess. Okay, it was bad, guys. And so here is the actual Panama Canal. And you can see they come in right here. All right. And here's your fill-up tanks right here for it in order for it to go up or down. And then here we go. Here is another one right here for ships to come in through. Okay. This Panama Canal is very precious, and it's not ours, and it's not Panama's, and it's not China's. It's the world's. That's what we were told when the U.S. was done with it. It was the world's. Okay. And so there's a big war going on there. And of course, we've got our hurricane spinning out here, flooding DUMBS. Okay. And we did have a pretty good sized dam down here in Ecuador, guys. So here's Ecuador in South America. And here is the dam we're going to look at 14 hours ago. Let's see here. So 73, we're really dealing with high numbers right now in those areas, and a 5.5 blast. 5.5. Okay, and let's go ahead and... There is one more thing I want to throw in before we move it on our map. talking about Panama, okay, and the throughway for very large container ships to go through. And what's on the container ships? Containers. What's in the containers? Children. And we know that things like the largest corporations across the world, the largest, look dwarfed compared to child trafficking. The banks are starting to show their heads. City something. It's Citibank, but it's a subsidiary like that. I think it's called City something. Sorry, guys, I can't remember the name of the bank. Was just pushed to the surface like a pimple and we've been told that they were one of the largest for supporting the covering up of trafficking of children. We do know that with the banks right now, our cabal banks are pedal to the metal right now. We've got their backs against the wall, their feet to the fire per se, because Basel IV is here and compliancy they're struggling with because their numbers were inflated with lies, using numbers for trafficking. And the reason why I'm bringing this back up again is because you say to yourself, well, where do all these kids come from that they use, like that? And I'm just going to give you a for instance because Obamacare is new to the system, but everybody thought it was for medical reasons. Well, that's the way they were playing it in the cabal world. They wanted it to go through the medical systems so that they could see each and every child, their hair color, their weight, where they came from, everything about them. They would know through Obamacare. Let's go ahead and just get a quick report here about Obamacare and how Obamacare directly relates to some of the largest trafficking of children in organization and and being organized that well that they can strip kids out of the system without people really noticing. And the ones on a private level that do notice, they just shut them up like that. All right, here we go, guys.
Obamacare was set up for one reason and one reason only, and that's to traffic children. Obamacare. It's the only reason it was set up. What if I told you that they invested so much money, they built 3 supercomputers in the university in Austin, Texas, that a mother can go to her gynecologist, find out that she's pregnant, and the moment he puts in the code, the child traffickers are following that mother, their pregnancy. They know whether she's going to get an abortion, whether she has a live birth. They follow the kid through the first few years of school. They know if it's got blonde hair, blue eyes, or red hair, green eyes, or whatever. And what if they got blood type, DNA, all your medical records? Obamacare coding system removed doctor-patient confidentiality from the United States and the world. Don't think it just happened here. It happened all over the world in every United Nations country when that was passed. We started it. So it's a 5-digit coding system with over 80,000 codes. We call it medical kidnapping in this country. I have parents that have walked into Phoenix Children's Hospital, and they can be up there talking to their doctor. Their doctor writes stuff down in his notes. He hands it to the medical coding expert in his office. She takes it, she puts it in the computer. CPS and the Superior Court of Arizona leases space in the basement of the hospital. A red flag pops up on the CPS agent's computer down there. She has every medical record, the home address, the parent's name, everything. She can cut, paste, put it on her documents, an order to remove, walk it next door to the judge, have him sign it, get in the elevator, be upstairs within 5 minutes taking the child.
On what ground?
Whatever they want to think of.
Medical.
Yeah.
I heard they lease space in every hospital.
They do.
What?
Every hospital.
Yeah, every hospital.
The courts and CPS, every major hospital in the United States, they lease space. But let me tell you something. I'll tell you what they've told me. They told me all the evidence that we've turned in the last 3 years, it could take the military as long as 10 years just to take care of it. There's not enough people to even take care of it.
What if there were?
Sweetheart, I'm going to tell you there is. And we have a lot of help right now.
A very lot of
And
help.
we haven't had that help for that long. And I don't really want to talk too much about it, except one-on-one in private maybe. I'll show you some things. Okay? But we have a lot of help right now.
A lot.
I always knew there was good and evil. I always knew that when people rise into a position of power, a lot of times they get very corrupted and they start committing the 7 deadly sins, and then Satan takes over. But what I didn't know until maybe 5 or 10 years ago is that the whole world revolves around child and human trafficking.
Everything.
Think about what I told you about our birth certificates. We're being bought and sold legally to fund governments all over the world. This is why they can afford to be so bloated, to have agencies. They're only supposed to provide us with 19 essential governmental services and no more. They're providing us with 6,000 and forcing us at gunpoint to pay for it. But they're also using our trafficked selves, our trusts, to fund that. Here's one thing about good and evil, both. They both have to disclose ahead of time. That's the universal nature of law. They have to disclose it. And it's been disclosed for a long time. But we just never noticed. We don't pay attention. That's right.
We didn't know what to
No.
look for.
Plus, it's like a puzzle. Okay?
Yeah.
They throw away the box top,
Yeah.
and then they put one piece here and
Yeah.
one piece here and one piece. And you got to figure out, well, gather up all the pieces, figure out
Just
what is
about
a piece,
impossible.
gather up the pieces, and then you got to put it together to see the picture. All right.
And just note, he was speaking of hospitals. Yes, most hospitals were all about the trafficking of children. And when I say that, I'm talking about trafficking in special ways too, like medically, making children sick with cancer, okay? Those facilities will go bye-bye. All of those illnesses should not have existed. They were using them all to facilitate their medical nightmares of trafficking children and doing horrible things. The hospitals, yes, had a CPS station right in it. If the right baby came out of the right mom, she was either leaving the hospital with a baby that wasn't hers, okay, or they were going to go ahead and let her know that the baby died. I can't tell you how many women think that their baby died at birth and it didn't. Okay, and I'll be honest with you guys, it does go a step deeper with children leaving the hospital, being born to a mother, and then the mother going home with something other than their own baby. It really does go deep what these guys were doing to get a hold of the blood of humans, okay? You can think cloning, all right? Go that avenue, think cloning. I don't want to scare mothers out there. The truth of the matter is a lot of us did not leave the hospital with the same ones we gave birth to. And if we did, throughout school and stuff like that, if you've ever noticed, some people would say just one day my kid came home and he was just totally different, just totally different. Put that together a little bit with these school systems and trafficking, and it will unfortunately give you the darkest answer you ever dreamed up of your life. But these things are true in large amounts. And when you hear him say that Obamacare was set up as a system to traffic children, imagine the boost in children they got when Obamacare opened up. Obamacare was meant to fail for the people and be a crazy system because it wasn't put in place for us. It was put in place for trafficking like that. So on a very, very large scale, Panama here, we're coming at you because this sweet, beautiful canal that we're looking at here that was given to the world by the U.S., which the U.S. is just as bad, was really not about our goods and services. It was about the trafficking of human beings. And that's why you'll see our system is getting cut back to 4%. We don't need 6 billion trucks out on the road. They were all about trafficking these 18 wheelers. How about Cisco? Guys, think Cisco. How much did Cisco, the food restaurant supply to people out on the roads? What was really in Cisco's 18 wheelers? We don't need them anymore, guys. We need about 4% of what was going on around the world to take care of ourselves. And that's another reason why large companies are going away and stuff like that. They were all built and designed like Walmart as a front for us to make it look like it was for us, but really we were a pain in their butt and in the way. It was all about the trafficking of children and the damage that they have done to the world like that. So this Panama Canal thing, I really pick it apart and make it important on News Force because I want to express to people how big this is, that we go ahead and take it back per se and then give it back to the good people of Panama to begin to run it again. So we're getting ready to absolutely butt heads with China in the 3D, advancing to the 4D and hopefully for a 5D end. As we wrap things up with a couple of other countries trying to make peace with them. All right, guys. I know I said this was going to be a short, just a brief. We're just going to look at a couple of things, but you know how it goes. Once I get on this board and start looking around, we end up going a lot of different places. Let's go up here into Maine. I see a couple being blown up here in Portland. Here's one in Portland, guys, out there in Maine. Okay, that was at a 5 km, and that was a 1.9 blast. So just a little pop. They were just taking a little something vein off of a main out. Let's go up here off the coast here in Maine and see what this one was all about. I wish I knew the name of that island. There it is. Monaghan Island. What do we have here? This shipwreck. Whoops. Oh, it doesn't want to let me click on it. All right, so here is the dumb, guys. 3 days ago. Ooh, 10 km out there. There we go. Got ourselves a main. Yeah, they pop up out of nowhere there as they're finishing stuff up and things are linked together. It's kind of like don't pull the top domino before you, or the top Jenga before you pull a bottom one like that. So sometimes they have to come back and go ahead and hit those as last minute things. And I see up here in Quebec City too, you guys had yourselves one right out there off the water. Not surprised, right, guys? Water. Watch the water, 28 km, pretty deep. And that was just a little piddly poof of a 2.5. All right, let's just, well, now wait a minute. It's showing that there was reports of shaking. Yeah, see, you got to stop, guys. 28 km, a 2.5 blast. I don't think so that it would cause that much shaking. Let's come on back out and take a look at that shaking. I think maybe I'm going to try and click on one. It'll probably dump us out. Yeah, there it goes. It dumped us out. There's a good reason for that, and I'm just not sure, but we can't get that shaking. Let's go on over here to the West Coast and just see what we can see. We'll go over to Olympic National Park, see how quiet it is there now. Guys, after all that craziness, the fires and all of the action on the east side of this mountain, the DUMBS and stuff like that we've blown up, it looks like things have quieted down real nice up there for you guys. And coming over here into the Montana area, you can see the pace has picked up after the fires and stuff like that out there in the Lewis and Clark National Forest. They were doing some action on the ground, definitely DUMBS ground to air out there for quite a while with the fires and stuff. Now you can see the pace has picked back up with the DUMBS again being blown up. Clear over here to Boise National Forest. You guys, these national forests were so bad. Now you know why they had them under government control. A, to take our money so they could do the trafficking they were doing and the awful things that were happening out there. And B, to be able to know who comes and goes from these national forests. So I do believe that national forests will turn into something else. We will not be like funding them anymore and stuff. It'll be more, I think that somebody will take them over and just watch over them. But the government should not have any control over any of our land like that at all, because you see what happens, right? Like that. Let's go into Los Angeles and take a peeker. All right. Los Angeles looks pretty darn quiet, huh? Out there in San Bernardino, just to the south, I see some action. All right. And let's come on back out. Long Beach is pretty quiet. Long Beach being right here. And here's the heart of Los Angeles there. Let's just climb down through and take a look at how the Baja area is doing. Okay, yep, the Salton Sea, they're still pretty active. We've talked about this quite a bit. They were working really hard on this area after they completed the Salton Sea. And it looks like there's one right out in the middle again. Let's see what that is. Hopefully a 10 km. Nope. It's a 4 km. 1.2 blast. Okay. Yeah, the Salton Sea was really bad for nefarious things, and you can see it's surrounded again by national forests all over the place. Of course, California would have the most because they're right off the water, where all of the ports where submarine ports and stuff were, and the ports for the container ships and stuff were. So, of course, we're going to see a lot of national forests in there. Now, I wanted to just show you guys they're still pretty busy in Oklahoma. There's really not much to say except for Oklahoma was really bad. Oklahoma City was the home to the FAA training, all that kind of stuff. Really bad stuff went on there. That training and all that was a cover up for what was going on in Oklahoma City. It was pretty bad, guys. Pretty darn bad. And I was in that city for FAA reasons one time. And as soon as I entered the city, I could feel the air. It was just thick, and I didn't know what it was, but I could feel it. And definitely now I know. Let's jump over here to Midland and all that area here and see how they're doing. Still, we're what, 2 years in since those tornadoes went through, a year and a half, guys? And we're still busy in Big Springs and Midland, okay? Stratton, where those tornadoes went through. And of course, up here just to the north, north and to the west of Kermit, it looks like they've got a good amount right out in the fields that they are blowing up, guys. All right, let's just hop the drink quick. All right. Let's just go on over. And whatever pops out here in the last few minutes, I'll go ahead and you can see we're real busy on Iceland still. Okay, we're killing it out there. All right. You can see, of course, it runs right along that belt line or whatever you want to call it, depending upon what you believe the earth is, flat or round. So for now, I take a happy medium for everybody and call it the Beltway. All right, let's get over to Europe and just take a look what's going on. I want to take a look at Turkey too. Let's go over and see how Turkey's doing. They're really important in this, guys. They're coming up for NATO, and they're going to be our kill switch for NATO. Turkey we anticipate, will be turning on NATO and taking a different direction, and that's going to change everything and basically put that fire of hell of child trafficking out, because that's all NATO was a CIA operation to be able to traffic children. So Turkey, you're looking pretty good. You've got a conglomeration going off starting right here just to the north of Blokalaya, uh, Balkaya. So here's Balkaya, or Armantolu also. Okay, just jump around. I'm looking for some bees. Bring mama some big ones here. I want to see some blasts. Here's one, guys, right along the beltway. All right. And that's just off of Nicobar Islands. What do we got here? So it was an 18 km, and that was a 5.0 blast there. Going close. So there you go. We can see that. All right. Let's take a peek at. Come on back and here's some, guys. Let's go on north. We're going to go way up here and take a look at whoops. I'm having trouble clicking on it. Let's get in closer. There we go. All right, 16 hours ago. And this was in Vilachinsk, Russia. Villach. Oh, I butchered that and I give up. All right, guys. So it was 73 km and that was a 5.1 blast. Good slammer jammer just to hit her home over there in Russia. All right. It looks like they're real busy up here. Look at all those. You can almost see the lines when they blow it up, like that. We definitely haven't come across any grid yet today. That's for sure. Let's go on down here. I just want to take a look at the Philippines and south. So here is the Philippines, guys. They're pretty active over here. I see a biggie in here. Let's grab it. Oh, there we go. There's some grid. There you go, guys. Nice and fresh grid. There you go. Yeah, any of your friends say, no, those are just natural earthquakes. Yeah, bring them here and show them this. And then they'll be quiet real fast and start asking questions. Beautiful grid. Isn't that gorgeous, guys? I love seeing that. Just awesome. Lets you know that it's them. We're here and we're doing damage. All right, this is just to the north and to the east of Naked Island. And this would be in the Philippines. And this was 6 days ago, guys. 69 km. We have some deep ones, don't we? 6.1 blast. Wow. Yep, that was a pretty good slammer jammer. Let's go in close. Oh, of course, look at all the churches popping up. That's another thing, guys. The churches. Oh, no, another Walmart front. And if you think your minister isn't doing it, I don't know, guys. I wouldn't say all of them are, but you get into the bigger ones and oh yes, they are, okay? Especially all of them. I was going to say the Catholic. It's not just them. 69 km, 6.1 blast. Take a look at some of these DUMBS when I'm talking about DUMBS in cities and see how many churches and stuff are near them. Let's see here. That's the first thing I did when I saw those churches pop up. What's around it? Well, here's your elementary school. Okay. Let's go on in close. All right. Durero Street and Union Street. Right in the middle of the street. Dun, dun, dun. There's a church. It's a pretty big church. What kind of church is it here? It's a parish. So parish would be, that covers several different yeah, I can't click on it. Several different denominations of religion. Religion was the problem to begin with, guys, okay? Religion's a real problem and it needs to go. The religion was put in place to divide and separate everybody so you'd be busy stuck on the religion and not looking at what was really going on. Quite a bit of, look at all the reports of shaking. I sure wish we could click in on it, but we can't right now. All right, let's just go along here and let things pop up. See if we can see any biggies. All right. Keep going here. See how India's doing nice and quiet. We've got some biggies right in here. Just south of Tajikistan. I'm sorry, let me try it one more. Tajikistan. There we go. There we go. All right, and what do we have here? So this would be considered Afghanistan. Okay, 243 km, 5.1 blast. Do you hear how deep that is? Yeah, these tunnels go deep, guys, real deep. So it looks like they got started after that blast 21 hours ago. They've been working on this area. It looks like they're going to get started on another area. Let's go in close and just see. Oh, look at that, guys, water. Right next to it, of course. Have to be able to use those submarine tunnels. All right, there we go. Yeah, there is civilization there, that's for sure. Let's just kind of follow it. Okay, guys. See those buildings and stuff. Yeah, this was all this and through here. Everything going on here was all about this dumb here. Yeah. Afghanistan, a lot of things, a lot of people wanted in the world from there, right? For sure. All right, guys. I do have some breaking news here, and that was just in time because I was going to go ahead and show you my last little skit I had for you guys. But what the heck, we're already over almost an hour. Let's add in, this is breaking news. 82nd Airborne soldiers foil daring cartel border breach in Arizona desert. Let me go ahead and have a listen here for us.
2nd Airborne soldiers foil daring cartel border breach in Arizona desert. Published by Real Raw News. In a nail-biting skirmish, soldiers from the 82nd Airborne Division last night repelled armed Mexican cartel members trying to infiltrate the United States of America. The incident occurred along a remote stretch of the Arizona-Mexico border, where the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is currently constructing a border fence near Barry M. Goldwater Range, formerly Luke Air Force Base, in southwestern Arizona. The confrontation began shortly after midnight on October 21st, when surveillance drones operated by the 82nd Airborne detected unusual movement near the massive 1.9 million acre training area. As reported previously in numerous articles, white hats, Marines and soldiers and National Guardsmen have been embedded in border reinforcement teams ever since Texas Governor Greg Abbott began laying razor wire on the U.S. side of the Rio Grande to mitigate illegal incursions in 2023. According to white hat sources familiar with last night's event, approximately 12 individuals believed to be affiliated with the notorious Sinaloa cartel approached the border under the cover of darkness. They carried what appeared to be automatic rifles and were attempting to exploit a gap in the fence, one source said. They were equipped and coordinated, our source added. 4 snuck through an opening, and when the 82nd moved to intercede, 2 hostiles fired at them but didn't hit shit. This was a direct assault on U.S. sovereignty. A second source, Sergeant First Class Jamal Torres, a veteran of multiple deployments, summarized the scene. Part of our mission is patrolling the perimeter to support the engineers and to guard equipment. A patrol was doing just that, fulfilling our duty, because there had been thefts, when word came down that drones had spotted heat signatures breaching the fence. The patrol moved in and heard voices in Spanish. Then came muzzle flashes. The invaders had evidently detected the patrol and fired first, Torres said. prompting the soldiers to respond with measured force. They responded with a mix of warning shots, flashbang grenades, and precision fire from their rifles after the cartel members refused to heed commands to withdraw. The soldiers took cover behind industrial equipment, backhoes, post drivers, and piles of steel fence posts, and launched flares to illuminate the intruders. Meanwhile, helicopter support from nearby Yuma Proving Ground arrived, illuminating the area with spotlights and providing aerial reconnaissance, compelling the surviving attackers to retreat across the border. No U.S. forces were injured, our source said, but 4 cartel members were killed in the exchange. The fence will be completed on schedule, he said. We found backpacks full of fentanyl on the corpses. Engineers are expected to resume work on the fence today, and the gap targeted by the cartel should be within days. Military officials plan to bolster patrols with additional drone swarms and ground sensors, ensuring the range remains secure for training exercises.
All right, guys, let's take a look at that on the map. We're headed over to Arizona. All right, and so here is Yuma. Right here, okay. And here is Barry M. Goldwater Air Force Base, now called Barry M. Goldwater Air Force Base. So right in through here is where the fighting went on, and here is your border right here. Mexico. Us. Like so. And just a very small taste of the actual site of it being out on the roads, the human trafficking and how it's hidden. Let's take a look.
What do they use these for? Do you know?
For the fence.
For the fences?
Yeah.
Do you have anything illegal inside the vehicle?
Oh no.
No, anything.
No.
Anything illegal inside the wood here?
No, sir.
Nothing at all. Okay. You give me consent to search the vehicle and everything inside of it. Morning.
Morning, sir. How are you doing today?
Good, sir. Yourself?
Good. Ready to work?
That's what I'm talking about. Turn around. Turn around. Put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest for human smuggling.
And there you go. Imagine how many children would fit in there, passed out cold
todos
because
bien?
of drugs.
Sí. I think that's good, man. ¿Cuántos son? 5.
Chequense todos bien, están todos bien de salud.
Aquí siéntense enseguida, por favor. Estírese los pies.
And a little bit more. This is the real reason why our military is going, one of the reasons why our military is going into these cities. And we're saying it's because of illegal immigration. No, it's not. Let's get a listen.
So the riots got started in Los Angeles not because ICE was going in and arresting people who came here illegally, but because the fashion district had an investigation going on where they were smuggling and laundering money in from Mexico and Colombia. They did not report over 80 million goods, and they did not pay over 17 million in taxes. So it's tax evasion. And of course, the Mexican president decided she would put in her 2 cents and say that the Mexican protesters that basically attacked ICE were heroes. So basically, these rioters were just interrupting an investigation, and they've gaslighted this community of high-strung people to believe that it was because people were being deported, which then lands the Unified School District of LA to get on a press conference and say, if you don't feel safe, we can use our schools as a safe place, even over the summer, basically saying they're going to harbor illegals. And all of a sudden, it's just turned into something that it wasn't before.
Here's another one that looked like we were trying to take out immigrants, but that wasn't what was going on. Here we go.
Crowd quickly gathered to protest what they thought was an enforcement on undocumented immigrants. Now, a woman who was arrested protesting that day is shedding new light on what agents were really looking for. 27-year-old Isabel Lopez has been indicted on 4 counts, including obstructing, impeding, resisting, and assaulting officers. Authorities say that Lopez punched an FBI agent in the head, kicked and shoved other federal agents, and even threw a softball at the back of a Hennepin County deputy. And what Lopez and others thought was an ICE raid was actually part of a criminal investigation, one that yielded 900 pounds of methamphetamine.
Wow.
Multiple federal agencies executed search warrants at a number of locations. They are all connected to an investigation into drug trafficking, human trafficking, and money laundering. Officials say they recovered 900 pounds of meth from a Burnsville storage shed worth $22 to $25 million. Agents also seized gold-plated guns and portraits of Al Pacino's character from the movie Scarface. Lopez made an initial appearance in U.S. District Court. Remember, these are federal charges, and authorities say she will remain in custody pending a detention hearing.
So as we can see here, we were just a money machine that was in the way that they had to inconveniently put up storefronts for, and things like Cisco restaurant supply for that kind of stuff to cover their tracks. The world is getting ready to be a very different and very simple place. Our finances are going to be simple. Whatever we choose to do on this planet, there will be no more work. It'll be simple. Okay, we won't be running to doctors every day because we won't have any medical issues anymore. We know that all disease came from the medical doctors and the cabal scientists and were put in through our vaccinations and our food and our water. That will cease to exist. We will have a place of peace where we will live again amongst our families and enjoy each other. Straight up Laura Ingalls Wilder style, but that style in the case of modernization. We will have lev trains that will take us very quickly. Anything the cabal stole from us in 6,000 technologies is already coming back to us in droves. The TVs are full of the new technology coming out. Just ivermectin and fenbenzanol alone are just biggies in this. They're already beginning the technology of med beds out there that you can get into. We're going ahead and cleaning up our streets, not of immigrants, but what we're cleaning our streets up of are the pedophiles, guys. We're talking local levels. We're talking your mayors. We're talking your representatives. We are talking most of them, 97% are what I say they are. They are Kabbalists. They are Masons. They are pedophiles. Okay, they are adrenochrome freaks, and they all have to go like that. So if you see your neighbor there and gone and you don't know where they went, I wouldn't be asking any questions like that. Pharmacists, we'll be cleaning up on them. The medical field, it's completely coming. And we fight for our babies that we love so much. And one more thing I want to flash across the screen regarding our medical field or our kill field. If you have been a part of this system in any way, shape, or form, okay, medically involved in any of the killings of human beings or the corruption of the medical field, okay, they're coming for you. And you will not be able to use the excuse, I was just carrying out orders. You could have done your studying too. The medical field is under scrutiny right now, and we are stripping it down. If you had anything to do with this at all, you would have hoped to have been somebody of the medical field of the past that died before we got to them, because we're coming for you. We have been tearing down the medical field now for the last 5 years, and you're getting ready. It's kind of like when they clear a forest and they're going to build on it. They always clear it back to front, right? Leaving that front up. Yeah, well, that's just about all that's left, and you're getting ready to see it absolutely tip and fall over and collapse. And we are extremely happy about that. That's what we want to see happen. So with that, guys, my short, quick update turned into an hour's report, just like it always does. And I hope everybody has themselves a fantastic day. This is Wendy from News Force, over and out.